Welcome to this week's episode of Financially Speaking. As a local family-built firm, Buska Retirement Solutions, along with its affiliate companies Buska Wealth Management and Legacy Tax Solutions, offer one-stop retirement, tax, and legacy planning services to families nearing or already enjoying retirement. Sue Buska is president of Buska Retirement Solutions, a retirement planning company helping develop financial, Medicare, and health insurance strategies. Over a decade ago, she partnered with her son, Cole Bruner. Cole, an investment advisor representative that's held to a fiduciary duty, is president of Buska Wealth Management, a fee-based registered investment advisory firm providing financial planning and investment management for individuals and businesses. Legacy Tax Solutions offers personal and business tax planning and preparation services. Their enrolled agent, Carl Van Setters, is a military veteran with over 10 years of accounting experience and is committed to maximizing your tax credits wherever possible. Over the last several years, Sue and Cole have continued to grow their team of private wealth advisors to meet the increasing demand of retirees seeking guidance. In 2018, Ryan Connor began serving clients at their Eau Claire location. At their Wausau location, Logan Wooler became a part of the team in 2020. And in 2023, Sue's daughter Kaylee Berenson joined the firm. As a family-built firm with offices in Wausau and Eau Claire, their dedicated team of professionals have the experience to provide custom-tailored strategies to help you achieve your long-term financial goals. The next 30 minutes will be filled with retirement information presented by their team in a simple manner that you can understand. So stay tuned because Financially Speaking starts right now.
We've got an interesting topic to talk about, and that is beneficiaries for IRAs.
Today, I want to talk about when to retire. Should you retire at age 65 or wait a little longer?
Today, we're going to talk about how to open an IRA.
And now for our weekly question and answer segment.
Welcome back to Financially Speaking. Today I'm here with Cole and Kaylee from Buska Retirement Solutions and Buska Wealth Management, and I've prepared some frequently asked questions about preparing for retirement. But if you would like to see your questions answered on a future episode, please email us at info@retirewithbuska.com. Thank you both for joining me today.
Yeah,
We've got an interesting topic to talk about, and that is beneficiaries for IRAs.
Okay.
So, Kaylee, who is actually eligible to be an IRA beneficiary?
Yeah, great question. So basically, any individual can be a beneficiary of an IRA. So whether it's your spouse or your children, grandchildren, it could also be a trust that you have set up or a charity or organization that you're passionate about. So there's a lot of options for beneficiaries. It's just very important to make sure that you have beneficiaries listed on every account. It's pretty common that we find 401ks or retirement plans that have no beneficiaries listed. So it's also important to make sure that you're reviewing that every year with your financial services professional, just to make sure that everything's current and up to date.
Yeah, absolutely. We do see that pretty often. She's right. And, a lot of people think, oh, I have a will. I don't have to worry about it, and so in that type of a situation, yes, a will may serve the purpose, but then it could wind up going through probate and costing extra time and money and all of those types of things. And at the end of the day, it may not end up in the hands of those who you wish. So like Kaylee said, making sure your beneficiary documents on all of your accounts, that includes bank accounts and all of those different things as well, are up to date and accurate, because otherwise, it might end up costing extra money, time, or potentially winding up with someone that you might not have desired.
And you mentioned a trust could qualify as a beneficiary. Can you talk a little bit about how a trust can qualify as an IRA?
Yeah, so for beneficiary purposes, trusts can potentially work depending on the type of trust. You want to be really mindful that that trust is going to essentially allow for the IRS to see through that to who the direct beneficiaries of the trust would be. So terms are kind of interchangeable, but look through trust, see through trust. Those are the types of trusts that would make sense to be a designated beneficiary for an IRA account, because obviously if if it's not set up that way, it can cause complications and potentially cost extra money in taxes and things like that. So you really want to make sure that you're working with a financial professional and that financial professional is collaborating with your legal professional to ensure that they're working together to make sure that plan is going to provide the payouts and all of the things that you really desire it to.
So we talked about RMDs before on Financially Speaking. Now let's talk about how that applies to beneficiaries. What happens if you pass away and you have not started collecting your RMDs yet?
Yeah, so it kind of depends on the relationship that you have with the account holder. So if it's a spouse, then you have a little bit more flexibility. So first option is you could take a lump sum distribution. Just make sure that you're talking with your financial services professional before doing that to weigh out all the pros, the cons, and any tax implications that could be causing. The second option would be that you could take the IRA funds and transfer them to your own IRA. So then if you do that, you would go off of your RMD age. And then the third option would be to open an inherited IRA account. So if you choose to go that route, then you would go off of your deceased spouse's RMD age.
Right.
If it's a non-spouse beneficiary though, then it's a little bit different. So again, you can do a lump sum distribution. Again, be sure that you're weighing out those pros and those cons. Right. And then the second option would be to open an inherited IRA account, but then the 10-year method would apply to this. So the 10-year method is going to be on the 10th year following the account holder's death, the funds need to be depleted out of that IRA account.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that was another one of those changes with that Secure Act that some people were a little bit surprised by, but it essentially is a way of the government creating a little bit more revenue in a shorter period of time without raising taxes per se, which is some of the things that we often talk to clients about as a potential risk. You know, the government can change the rules in the future, so you want to really be mindful of what your options are and ensure that you're taking advantage of any way to make your tax situation more efficient for the future.
That's great. And what about the opposite? So let's say something happens and you've already started your RMDs. How does that impact your beneficiary?
Sure. Yeah. Well, in that situation, especially for a non-spouse beneficiary, the biggest change is going to be they're going to be required to take money out every year during that 10-year time frame. They're still going to have to liquidate the full account balance by the end of the 10th year, but because the deceased person had already reached that required beginning date, the government is going to require them to take the distribution that the deceased person should have taken in the year of death, and then from that point forward, they would utilize that beneficiary's life expectancy to determine what their minimum payment would be through that remaining 10-year time frame. And then same thing, by the end of the 10th year, of course, you would want to exhaust that balance in full. Most people, depending on their situation, are going to, try to spread that tax liability out over the 10-year time frame. So many people will probably end up taking more than the required minimum amount that they would have to take each year, because otherwise they might find themselves in a situation where they've got a big hefty tax bill at the end of that 10 years because they did defer a portion of that, and it's still growing during the course of that 10-year time frame too. So we have to kind of counteract the growth by taking extra withdrawals over that 10-year time frame to ensure that we try to spread that liability out as well as we can over that 10-year time period.
If there's not enough to remember already, there is another class of individuals considered the eligible designated beneficiary class.
Oh, sure.
So that pertains to the disabled, the chronically ill, somebody who's not more than 10 years younger than the account holder, and then also minor children of the account holder. Yeah. So for this special class of people, they do have the option of doing the 10-year method, or if it makes the most sense for them, they can stretch those RMDs out over their life expectancy. One thing to bear in mind though is with the minors, once they do attain the age of 21, they do have the 10-year method go into effect at that point. So by the 10th year following their 21st birthday, they do have to have the IRA account depleted.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So there are some exceptions to the rules, obviously, but they're very specific and they only apply to certain types of people.
Always.
Yes, of course. Just got to keep it complicated, right?
So first of all, we got to make sure we review our beneficiaries and we have them in all of our accounts. And then I'm going to call my financial advisor and figure out all the rest of that.
Absolutely.
So thank you both for joining us today on Financially Speaking. And thank you for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you again right after this.
Close your eyes and picture retirement for a moment. What does your dream look like? Would your days be filled spending time with family and friends? Maybe you desire to volunteer or work a rewarding part-time job. Or do you envision traveling the world? Whatever your dream consists of, Buska Retirement Solutions can help you realize it. Call or go online to schedule a complimentary consultation today.
Are you ready to make your retirement planning more stress-free? I'm Cole Bruner from Buska Retirement Solutions, Buska Wealth Management, and Legacy Tax Solutions. Between our three companies, there's a lot we can do to make securing your future easier. By creating a comprehensive retirement plan that incorporates retirement income solutions, investment management, estate planning, tax strategies, as well as health insurance and Medicare planning, you can retire with more confidence and peace of mind. Call us today or go online to schedule your complimentary review.
And now, our Financially Speaking weekly topic segment.
Welcome back to Financially Speaking. I'm Ryan Connor from Buska Retirement Solutions and Buska Wealth Management. Today, I want to talk about when to retire. Should you retire at age 65 or wait a little longer? More and more people are planning to wait to retire until age 70. A U.S. News and World Report article titled Why You Should Plan to Work Until Age 70 has some excellent information that may be useful for younger and older workers alike. Contrary to what you may be thinking, it's common for some people to work until age 70 or even older for reasons completely unrelated to finances. According to another article from U.S. News titled 10 Reasons Not to Retire, working helps you maintain your social life, as many people have friends at work that they lose when they retire. The article also cites the mental stimulation that comes with working and the perks that some employers offer, such as flexible work arrangements, as reasons to keep working. Of course, if you love your job, that's reason enough to keep working and wait to retire. But even if you choose to work until 70 for reasons other than money, you'll likely notice some positive economic impact from your decision. So if you keep working because you feel great and still enjoy your work, you can consider those economic impacts as mere fringe benefits to your decision. The first potential benefit of working longer is a bigger Social Security check. Social Security payments rise by about 8% for every year you delay filing between the ages of 62 and 70. Here are some concrete numbers. A person who would receive $750 a month at age 62, which is earlier than the full retirement age, would get about $1,000 a month at age 66. It's a pretty good jump, right? But if that same person waits to file until they're 70, their payment will rise to $1,320 a month. Furthermore, the value of your annual cost of living adjustment, when there is one, would also be larger because those annual inflation-determined increases are based on your current payment amount. Ultimately, if you're in good health, have a family history of longevity, and still enjoy your work, holding off until 70 to file for Social Security may make plenty of sense. Also, bear in mind that once you turn 70, your benefit will no longer increase, which means there's likely no incentive to wait past age 70. Focusing on age 70 for retirement also provides you with a longer runway for saving money. Because your salary will likely be at its highest point once you're in your 60s, and because your children are probably out of the house or close to it, you may be able to contribute more money to your various retirement accounts. And if you're able to pay off your mortgage a handful of years before you retire, there's another opportunity to save even more money for retirement. Don't forget that older workers also receive special tax breaks. Thanks to the catch-up contribution rule, in 2024, those 50 and older may contribute $8,000 to an IRA, which is $1,000 more than their younger counterparts. That same catch-up rule applies to 401ks as well. In 2024, workers 50 and older can contribute an extra $7,500 a year to their 401k for a grand total of $30,500. Delaying retirement until you're 70 also provides compound interest advantages. This is because you're also delaying the time when you begin withdrawing from your retirement accounts and savings. And that means the money in those accounts continues growing. However, be sure to discuss the required minimum distribution, or RMD rules, with your financial services professional. Those rules stipulate when you must begin taking withdrawals from your account whether you want to or not, so you don't face penalties. Finally, delaying your retirement until you're 70 means you'll have a shorter retirement to fund. While nobody knows how long they'll live, the sooner you retire, the more non-working years you will need to cover financially. If you retire at 62 and live to age 90, that is 28 retirement years you'll need to have money for. But if you retire at 70 and live to 90, that's just 20 years you need to account for. Now, there is a case to be made for retiring earlier. That's mostly a discussion for another day, but I'll quickly go over a few reasons why you may not want to wait. A Yahoo Finance article titled, "When Should I Hang It Up? Here are the top 5 reasons to retire as soon as possible," lists job stress, family obligations, and health concerns as primary reasons to retire sooner rather than later. Waiting until age 70 is great, but it's not the end-all be-all, and if you have some good reasons to retire earlier, you should do what's right for you and your family. That about wraps it up for today. If you're not sure whether you should retire at age 70 or hang it up a little earlier, schedule a complimentary consultation so we can discuss your current financial position and future retirement goals to develop a plan that works best for you. Go to retirewithbuska.com or give us a call at 715-355-4445. We'll be right back with more Financially Speaking after this.
Have you heard the term fiduciary before? According to Investopedia.com, being a fiduciary means being legally bound to put your client's best interest ahead of your own. Did you know that investment advisors have a fiduciary duty to clients, but broker-dealers just have to meet the less stringent suitability standard, which doesn't require putting their client's best interest ahead of their own? At Buska Wealth Management, all of our advisors are fiduciaries to provide our clients more peace of mind. Call us today or go online to schedule your complimentary review. Taxes can play a significant role in retirement. After all, they determine how much of your hard-earned savings you get to keep and how much you send to the IRS. But if you're like many savers, you probably don't know the total taxes that you could end up paying. At Buska Retirement Solutions, we believe information is critical to making informed decisions. So I want to share with you a resource that can help quickly evaluate your potential taxes in retirement. Visit BuskaRetirementTaxBill.com to generate your personalized report. And once you've seen your retirement tax bill, let's talk, because there may be ways to improve those numbers.
And now our Financially Speaking weekly desk segment.
Welcome back to Financially Speaking. I'm Sue Buska from Buska Retirement Solutions, and joining me today is Ryan Connor. And today we're going to talk about how to open an IRA.
That's right. NerdWallet recently published an article titled How to Open an IRA in 4 Steps. So we're going to go over that today.
Well, first we should talk about IRAs. Let's talk about what they are and why our viewers may want to consider opening one. Ryan, what does IRA stand for?
So IRA stands for Individual Retirement Account. The difference between IRAs and 401ks is that you don't need to access an IRA through your employer. If your employer doesn't offer a 401k, you can open an IRA and save for retirement that way.
That's right. An IRA is a tax advantage account that lets you save for retirement. There is no age limit for IRAs. As long as you're earning money, you can put some in an IRA.
Now let's talk about how to open the IRA.
Well, opening an account is pretty easy, but there are some decisions you'll have to make. Now, Ryan, tell the audience about the first one.
So first, according to NerdWallet, you'll want to choose between an online broker and a robo-advisor.
A robo-advisor? I don't know if I like the sound of that.
A robo-advisor is just an automated way to manage your investments, Sue. Not necessarily anything you need to be afraid of.
Okay, so I want to invest without thinking about it too much. I might want to go for the robo-advisor option.
Potentially.
But what if I want to choose my investments myself?
So if you're a hands-on investor, you'll want to choose an online broker. Once you open your account, you'll be able to buy and sell your own investments, manage it yourself.
Well, the NerdWallet article mentions that the robo-advisor option might save you money on fees a financial advisor might charge you. What does that mean for us, Ryan?
So some robo-advisors offer access to human financial advisors. So choosing a hands-off approach doesn't mean you can't work with a person too. You just have to make sure that the robo-advisor you choose offers access to human advisors, because many of them do not.
Well, that leads us to what's next after you decide whether you want to be hands-on or hands-off.
So the next step is to decide where you open your IRA. The choice you made in step number 1 will help you decide where you need to go in step number 2.
Well, if you're a hands-off investor, NerdWallet suggests looking for a robo-advisor with a low management fee. Now, as you've already stated, some robo-advisors offer access to human advisors. Most of them will offer automatic rebalancing.
Now, meanwhile, if you're a hands-on investor, you may want to find a broker that charges low account fees and small commissions. Look for a wide selection of mutual funds and exchange trade funds, and make sure to choose a broker that provides excellent customer service as well as educational materials.
Well, we believe educational resources are especially important for new investors.
That's right, and you'll also want to be aware of whether the account requires a minimum investment. Note that many mutual funds often require a minimum investment, while you can buy ETFs by the share, which may make it less expensive to get started.
Okay, so once you've decided what kind of investor to be and chosen a provider, what is the next step? Like, what is step 3?
So step 3 is going to be to actually open the account.
To do that, you can just go on the provider's website and choose the type of account you want. That means choosing between a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA. Then you will fill out a form with your address, employment information, social security number, and so on.
That's right. It's a pretty simple and straightforward process. Now, once you've opened the account, you can start funding it.
And you'll also have to decide how you're going to fund the account, right, Ryan?
That's correct. Now, you can fund an IRA directly from your bank account. You can transfer money from an IRA you may already have, or roll over money from a 401k if permitted.
What if I want to do all 3?
Well, you can do that. However, you will want to make sure you don't go over annual contribution limits with new dollars added, which is going to be $7,000 or $8,000 if you're 50 plus.
The NerdWallet article reminds us that starting with any amount of money is better than nothing. So contributing to an IRA is great, even if you can't put $7,000 into it.
That's a great point. The article also points out that when you make contributions at regular intervals, you can take advantage of what's called dollar cost averaging.
I think we've explained dollar cost averaging on a previous episode, but should we do it again?
I think so. Now, here's how NerdWallet defines it in the article Dollar Cost Averaging, Definition and Examples. And this is a direct quote. Dollar cost averaging is the strategy of investing in stocks or funds at regular intervals to spread out your purchases. If you make regular contributions to an investment or retirement account, such as an individual retirement account or IRA, or 401k, you may already be dollar cost averaging. The advantage of dollar cost averaging: by investing in smaller set amounts over the course of time, you'll buy both when prices are low and high. This smooths out your average purchase price.
Well, that's a great definition.
Well, thank you. Let's talk about rolling over a 401k. Now, if you have an account from a former employer, you can put that money into your new IRA, and the IRA provider can usually help you with the rollover process.
Well, that's right, and if done correctly, the process can be fairly simple. You'll have to contact your former employer's plan administrator and fill out a form or two. Then the plan administrator sends the account balance to your IRA provider.
If you want to connect your IRA to your bank account to make additional contributions, that's often very simple too. You'll just add your account number and routing number to a form.
That's right, and we should note that the article points out that the contribution limits cover all of your accounts. If you have 2 IRAs, you can't put a total of $14,000 into them this year. You can contribute $7,000 total, and that's for both. And you can put $3,500 in both, or $1,000 in one, and $6,000 in the other, but not a penny over $7,000.
That's right.
Now, what's next after you've set up your funding source?
Now, next is the fun part, choosing your investments.
Well, not everybody thinks choosing investments is fun. Isn't that why people go with robo-advisors?
I mean, I enjoy it, but that's a fair point. If you go with a robo-advisor, we'll ask you about your goals and your preferences and choose investments for you on your behalf. It can also make adjustments along the way.
For hands-on investors, the NerdWallet article recommends starting your portfolio with low-cost index funds and ETFs. This helps you diversify your portfolio.
I think we've gone through all of the steps of opening an IRA. Sue, what are appropriate choices for people who want a hands-on IRA account or robo-advisor?
Well, NerdWallet offers an informative comparison chart for both options. I don't know if we have time to go through all of them, but the charts show you what the account minimums are, how much the fees are, if any, and information about promotions that each brand offers.
That way you can tell at a glance what the differences are between Betterment, Vanguard, and Acorns, just to give a few examples.
That's right.
Great. Now, are there any drawbacks to choosing an account based on an article like NerdWallet's?
Well, I think their articles are informative and based on data that they looked at objectively. However, one thing that may be missing is the personal angle. A financial advisor, a human one, can listen to you and learn about your unique circumstances and make recommendations that are tailored to your needs.
That makes sense to me. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by your options, a financial advisor can help you find the right ones that are right for you.
Well, with that, I think we're just about out of time for this segment. If you would like to talk to a human about opening an IRA, contact our office today at retirewithbuska.com or call 715-355-4445. We'll be right back with more of Financially Speaking after this.
You've worked hard to save money for retirement, but wouldn't you rather thrive and not just survive your golden years? My newly released book, Golden Rules of Finance for the Golden Years, offers key tips for managing your retirement money and ensuring you have a more complete plan to make your retirement dream a reality. Call 715-355-4445 or visit buskabook.com to request your complimentary copy today.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of Financially Speaking. We're glad you were able to join us today, and we hope you learned some useful retirement tips along the way.
On today's show, we covered a number of important topics, and hopefully we did so in a manner that was easy for you to understand. This is the same way we communicate to our clients when we meet with them in person. Remember, with the help of the right financial services professional, you can create a quality retirement, and our team is here to help. Right now may be a great time to get a second opinion on your retirement plan. Give us a call at 715-355-4445 or go to retirewithbuska.com to continue your retirement education, catch up on previous episodes of our TV and radio show, or schedule your complimentary, no obligation consultation.
If you have any questions or comments about today's show, call us at 715-355-4445 or feel free to send us an email at info@retirewithbuska.com. Join us next week at the same time and same place for another episode of Financially Speaking.